All right, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about two of the most famous figures from the Indian epics, Eklavya and Shambuka. Now, we're about to challenge what you think you know about them by looking at what the original scriptures say. And trust me, it's probably way different from the stories you've seen on TV.
So let me start by asking you a question. When you're watching one of those epic serials, how much of what you're seeing is the real, original story? And how much of it has been, well, let's say, spiced up for modern drama? It's a really important question, and it's exactly what the source material for this explainer gets into.
I mean, take a character like the great warrior Shikundi, for example. In a lot of TV shows, he's just portrayed as being effeminate. But, if you go back to the original scriptures, he's described as a Maharathi. That means a mighty warrior, a commander of thousands. That's a huge difference. And it's this gap between the pop culture version and the scriptural text that we're going to explore today with Eklavya and Shambuka.
Okay, so let's kick things off with our first deep dive, the incredible story of the archer Eklavya. It's a tale most of us feel like we know by heart. Or do we? Okay, look at this. On one side, you have the popular story we all know. Eklavya, the talented, oppressed tribal boy who's unjustly denied an education because of his low caste. A true story of victimhood. But then, you look at the other side, the scriptural description, and wow, it is a totally different world. Here, Eklavya isn't some deprived boy. He's a royal warrior, a Kshatriya, a commander in an army. And his rejection? It had nothing to do with his caste. It was all about politics. So let's really break down this scriptural identity, because this is where it gets fascinating. This version says Eklavya was actually born a Kshatriya, a member of the warrior class. He was apparently kicked out of his own clan for bad behavior, and then ended up becoming the commander for Jarasandha. Now, Jarasandha was the sworn enemy of Hastinapur, the very kingdom Dronacharya was sworn to protect. So put yourself in Drona's shoes. This isn't a caste issue, it's a national security issue. Why on earth would you train the enemy's top general? And get this. This is maybe the most crucial part. The scriptures say Eklavya himself never complained. He never saw himself as a victim. He willingly bowed to Drona as his guru and, when asked, gave his thumb without a single protest. According to this source, the whole narrative of him being a victim of casteism was actually added to the story much, much later.
Okay, so now let's switch gears to our second character, Shambuka. Now his story, his death at the hands of King Rama, is often held up as one of the clearest examples of caste-based injustice in the entire Ramayana.
And, would you believe it, it's the exact same pattern we saw with Eklavya. Two completely different tales. The popular one is of a devout Shudra ascetic, killed for daring to perform penance. But the scriptural version? It paints a picture of a king's duty. It says Shambuka's penance wasn't just penance, it was something so demonic and powerful that it was literally causing a deadly plague to sweep across the kingdom.
This timeline really lays out how the scriptures see this whole thing not as a single act, but as a major crisis unfolding step by step. It all starts with Shambuka's penance, which is described as asuric, or demonic in nature. Then, this power unleashes a plague that, and this is a key point, was killing people from all walks of life, all four varnas. So as the king, Rama had a duty, a dharma, to protect his people. That duty led him right to the source of the problem.
And right here, this is the heart of it all. According to the scriptures, it wasn't about what he was doing, but why he was doing it. His goal wasn't some noble spiritual enlightenment. The source says he was trying to gain demonic power for a deeply selfish and frankly destructive purpose. And it was this dark intent that was physically poisoning the kingdom and forcing the king to act.
Okay, so if these stories aren't really about caste oppression, like our source material is suggesting, then what's the real lesson here? What's the bigger principle at play in the epics? Well, according to our source, it all boils down to this one powerful concept, Adhikara. The idea here is that your rights, your authority, your place in the world, it isn't just about who you were born as. It's earned. It's based on your actions, your qualifications, and how well you fulfill your duty, your dharma. Basically, in this framework, it's merit and right action that really count.
I mean, that's a pretty bold statement, right? But it really sums up the whole argument our source is making. The idea is that in the world of the epics, there's a kind of cosmic justice. The consequences you face are directly tied to your actions and what you truly deserve based on your Adhikara.
So, we've looked at these two wildly different versions of the same stories. What are we supposed to make of all this? What's the big takeaway? At the end of the day, what this material is really telling us is to maybe look past the TV shows and the simplified retellings. It's making a case for going directly to the original texts ourselves. Because by doing that, we can start to see the complex politics, the duties, the motivations, all the nuance that gets lost in translation, and we can form our own, much deeper understanding of these incredible stories.
And you know, that really leaves us with one last big question to chew on, doesn't it? When we're faced with so many different versions of the same story, whether it's an ancient epic or something in the news today, how do we figure out what's true? What tools do we use to find the real story? It's definitely something worth thinking about.